Hi, at your service in Caris. Are you ready to take notes? Welcome again. Today I have a message on what you think. What you think controls everything about you. Your money, your relationships, your social circles, and influences every aspect of your life. Firstly, you choose what you think. I'll expand in a minute. Secondly, your outcomes in life depend on that. Where you're at in life right now was set up in your earlier years by your environment and circumstances at the time. But what you thought about them and yourself created the path to where you are now, and where you get to in your future depends on what you think and do now. You chose the path based on those circumstances and the beliefs that you created around them. I remember hearing about an alcoholic who had two sons. One never touched alcohol because he didn't want to become like his father. And the other became an alcoholic and said he had to because he was destined to become an alcoholic because that's what his father was. The same circumstance with two people who chose different paths because of it. They both chose what to think, and that choice sent them in different directions. Their outcomes depended on what they thought rather than the circumstances. You choose what to think, and that determines your future. You are now a product of what you thought. Proverbs 4:23. Above all, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. In Hebrew thinking, heart includes your mind. The actions you take and words you speak are a direct result of what you think and believe internally. Guard it to protect yourself from negative influences. Now, I didn't say you are what you wanted to be. That's totally different. We don't always set a path on what we want to be or what we want to get out of life. What we want usually involves many other things, like our abilities, our determination, etc. So many people are not where they want to be. But we are all where we directed our lives to be, consciously or subconsciously, and the subconscious has the greater power of the two. You can change your subconscious though. We can mold the way we think in a large degree. That too is a choice. It's up to you. Don't expect others will make your life good. If you're not having a wonderful life, it's time to make those changes. Firstly, in what you think. Ephesians 4:22 and 23. To put off your old self, which belongs to your former manner of life and is corrupt through deceitful desires, and to be renewed in the spirit of your minds. Mental renewal, your thought life, is where real transformation starts. You can't change your life without changing your mind. Remember, it's not just what you think. It's also what you do based on those thoughts. How? Start by writing yourself notes. Put them in places where you see them often. Create a daily routine in which you give time to changing your thoughts by memorizing what is important and go through that routine daily. Research online for any other tips that may help you make the changes you want and put them into practice. Get a good social network, people that support you rather than tear you down, people that can teach you when you're around them, seek their advice, etc. But don't pressure them. And avoid those who are bad influences on your life. You choose who you spend time with. If you try to tell your brain what not to think, you're actually thinking on it. Fill it with what you want instead. Good qualities. Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think on such things. Our brains respond to how we train them, and our character, our essential being, becomes what we think of most. Psychology has proven this time and time again. Proverbs 27:3. For as he has thought in his soul, so he is. This is about who you are, not what you have. But what you have is also affected by who you are. So let me take you on another path to reinforce this and help you maybe understand. I've said this part before. In fact, I said a fair bit of this message before in one way or another. So if you've been watching them in order, you probably already know this. I believe most, but not all, primary information, what I see and what I hear directly. I believe very little secondary information from a direct source, someone who was there. And I believe basically no tertiary information from sources that were not even there. I try not to forward any information that I didn't get as a primary source. Now, all I know is that I don't know. I certainly can't be certain of anything, so I choose to accept. I'll explain that, but my explanation may be difficult for some to understand. I see a fair amount within my potential illusion, but I can't even prove that either you or I exist. My or your entire life may be a physical dream. I could be somewhere else in an existence, somewhere else, but whatever I am or wherever I am, I may have physical dreams, able to touch in my dreams, and this is just a dream. Having said that, I now say, I don't believe that, but I can't prove it to be true or false. Though I believe I have enough evidence to the contrary. I can't prove that the moon exists or that men walked on it, but I choose to believe that there is enough evidence for me to accept that as true. So I'll say it again. All I know is that I don't know. I can't be certain of anything, so I choose to accept. So if you're real, and I believe you are, Why not choose to believe that you can have a wonderful life? More so, why not choose to believe that you will have a wonderful life? And better again, believe that you are creating a far better life right now. Tell yourself that you are determined to become the best, most successful person. But don't just tell yourself, because here's the key. You must believe it. And remember, belief is a choice. Is the world flat? I believe it's round. But I can tell you, I know of people who actually believe that it is flat. Are they wrong? I think so. I believe so. I have decided on the evidence before me that I will believe that it is round. But I can't prove that. All I can do is present the evidence that my belief and my faith in it being round is based on. But they still may not believe it. So I can't prove it to them. Why? Again, we believe what we choose to believe, which doesn't make those beliefs true or false, because all I can do is choose to believe. If, on the other hand, we choose to think negative things like, I can't do this or that, then we certainly won't, as we won't even try in the first place, even simple things. If you think you can, you have made the first step. And depending on what it is, either you can or maybe you can't. But if you think you can't, there's no chance at all. In Romans 12:2, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. This isn't a passive process, but an intentional one, leading to a profound change in your life and enabling you to live out God's purpose for you. Your thought patterns direct your ability to understand and live out a positive and purposeful life. I know many people won't understand this in its full intent, and they think they are what the world made them to be and they can't change. I also realise many people know this already. But if you didn't know this before and now both understand it and accept it fully, you will never see the world the same way again. But for this change of view, you must truly understand and accept those things in pure faith. So, what do I think? I think I'm a worthwhile person who can make a valuable difference in this world. I think all the resources I need are coming to me, and I will create whatever plans and steps I may need. I think of those in future tense, but here's another key. I think of needs yet to come in future tense. I think of outcomes, especially personal outcomes in who I am, etc., in present tense. I am successful. I am loved. I am a winner. I am a teacher of millions, and I have millions of followers, because the brain also takes hold of who you are better in the present tense. I also don't see time as linear, especially as the brain doesn't work as well when seeing it as linear. The brain grabs hold of current belief better than future belief. After all, it understands time is not limited. So, to think, I will be X, it says to itself, when? Tomorrow or in 20 years? Then it thinks, well, I guess I've got a lot of time to make that change. But when it's presented with current belief, it adapts in the current moment, and the change is far more immediate. So think in the now as much as you can. 2 Corinthians 5:10. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. The battle for your mind as a spiritual warfare. It calls for a deliberate, active effort to make thought captive. This means challenging and rejecting thoughts that are contrary to God's truth and aligning them with the teachings and will of Christ. It's an exercise of spiritual authority over your mind. Directing your life successfully requires winning the battle in your mind first. Isaiah 26:3. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. The state of your mind directly affects the state of your spirit, your peace. Where your thoughts dwell can either anchor you or unsteady you. Fixing thoughts on God is shown to have the power to bring perfect peace, guiding emotional and spiritual well-being. Again, what do you think? Would you benefit from changing it? Do it now. And use the tools and methods mentioned to make it work as much as you can. Again, if you found value, tell others. Share the links to the web page and to Facebook and to YouTube with people. Again, govern well in Charis.